Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 36 of a year of change. We are starting our 6th week. We've pretty much done everything that we needed to do up until this point. We've been following through with our tracking and gradually introducing new things and adding more water. So today, after you do your weigh-in, we're going to do another food edition. I sort of briefly touched on yesterday how I didn't want people to expect that it's going to be 2 pounds like clockwork every single week. I did my weigh-in today, and I have lost fuck all for this week. I've been following through with a lot of stuff. I lost a lot the week before, and literally 0.2 pounds this week. So I've got to sort of figure out what I'm doing wrong and fix that. But even this far in, you are going to fluctuate up and down. So don't take it to heart if you find that you aren't losing or you've gained some. It's going to take us some time to get used to it. But part of what we're going to be doing, part of the changes that we've been doing over the past few weeks, we're going to continue that. And this is with another food change today. And it's something that some of you may have already been doing. I've been doing. Some of you may not be doing it. Some of you may be terrified of doing it. And it's something very simple, and that is just to go after one simple thing. Every day, from now until the end of the year when we're doing this, every day I need you to add one fruit or vegetable to your diet during the day. Now, it doesn't sound like much to some. For some of you, you're eating plenty of fruits and vegetables now. That's fine. You're on track. We touched on the dates and the pickles and the grapes. Those count. If you're snacking on those, that's fine. As long as it's something that's every single day. But there are some people out there that literally haven't had a fruit or vegetable in years. There's a show, and I think it was on TLC, called Freaky Eaters or Picky Eaters. I think it was Freaky Eaters, where there were people that had just sort of chosen one food, and that's what they had lived on. And the vast majority of them hadn't had a vegetable in years. Some of them for 10 or 20 or 30 years. And, I mean, the benefits of it alone, I'm not going to go into all of them because we pretty much all know that they're good for us. We know what they can do. I will put a link down in the comments below. It's a link from Harvard, just sort of outlining some additional benefits, and you can sort of go through their channel there and take a look and see what they have. But a lot of the stuff that we need, we just simply don't get, mainly in North America. A lot of our diet sort of steers away from that, when the bulk of what we're eating should be fruits and vegetables and things like that. Now, this isn't to say that you need to go out and eat Brussels sprouts right away, or broccoli, or what would generally be considered the horrible vegetables. I really like vegetables, but there are some that I understand why people don't eat them. I never buy Brussels sprouts. I just don't like them. I don't buy broccoli. Or, I mean, sorry, no, not broccoli. Cauliflower. I get those two mixed up. I don't buy cauliflower because, again, it tastes like nothing. I do like broccoli and carrots and all the other stuff. So what I would suggest you do is, if you want to start out with the fruits to sort of ease into it, we can do that. But when you do go for vegetables, pick 2 or 3 different things that you think you might like. Something new. There are a number of them out there that are really good. Try to avoid corn if you can, because corn, although it is a vegetable and it's better than nothing, it's pretty much the same as potato chips. Same thing with potatoes. Those don't count. Because generally people think, oh, well, I'm going to go after French fries. But they're pretty much just all starch and sugar, and they don't really have the same nutritional qualities that we're looking for. So if you're eating potatoes or fries or I've already lost what the other thing was that I said. Corn. Sort of, you can still have those. I'm not saying you can't, but that's not exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for something that's going to contribute to what we're trying to do. So baby carrots are a good way to start. If you want something really crunchy but not too strong flavored, there's celery. There's a bunch of different ones. If you have a market near you, go to the produce section. Talk to someone there and be frank with them and say, I need something that's going to taste really good, It doesn't matter if it's high in sugar or anything like that, as long as it's something that's palatable, something that you can prepare very easily. Ideally, if you can eat it raw. I prefer raw ones, raw vegetables, over cooked ones anyway. I find cooking it it gets rid of the taste, it makes them mushy, it gets rid of everything about them that tastes good. To me, your mileage may vary, though. You might be one of those people that you don't like crunchy textures, so you need to boil everything. Or if you're going after something like squash, where you need to boil it, because that's one that's a little difficult to eat raw. If you go after squash and you boil it that way, as long as it's something that's going to be good for you and get into your diet. So there's too many to start listing. Anything that there are vegetables that I like, that I have friends that just will never touch it ever. Celery being one of them. There's a friend of mine that it doesn't matter. You could coat it in icing and she wouldn't touch it, which is I find very strange because I really do enjoy it. But again, tastes are going to be different. So pick 3 or 4 different things. Just grab little samples of it and try them when you get home. And see which ones you like, see which ones you don't. And if you find one that's really good, look up the nutritional information from it. See what it gives you. And see what other things are available to you that way. The same thing goes with fruit. There are some fruit that people don't like. I personally don't like grapefruit. I think it tastes like vomit, which is why I don't like grapefruit juice. I do like oranges and lemons and limes and citrus fruits like that, but for some reason, grapefruit, even from the time I was a little kid, just tasted like barf. So I've never been able to bring myself to eat it. So anytime there's a diet that says, oh, you have start with half a grapefruit, it's like, no. Don't want to start with a bowl of sick first thing in the morning. So it goes the same with vegetables. The same friend of mine that won't touch celery likes strawberries, but will get physically sick at the taste of raspberries, which is beyond me because for me they taste very, very similar. But berries count towards fruit. The dates and the grapes and that sort of thing, that counts towards the fruit. It doesn't matter how you get it into your system, as long as you're getting that extra nutrition as part of your diet. And although we're still tracking everything, vegetables are very, very low in calories, so it's not going to affect your diet that much, unless you're eating a bushel of something. But even like 2 or 3 cups of carrots is only something like 50 calories. There's nothing to it, but you get a lot of nutrition out of it. So we're going to start gradually introducing things like this. So the fruits, that one's going to be a little easier. Fruit generally is sweeter, so it doesn't matter if you have apples or oranges or plums or even dried fruit, if you want to go that way, if you don't have that taste for fresh fruit. Try to avoid some dried fruits, obviously, because they add a lot of sugar to it. But if it's something that it's going to get in India, go for it. I would caution against things like deep fried pickles. Although it is still a vegetable, that's really pushing it. But if it's the only way you're going to do it, then by all means, try that, and then gradually we can wean the batter off. Again, it's one of those things that we need to get the nutrition into us by any means necessary, sort of thing, and we can tweak and pick away the bad parts later. Now, for a lot of you, this sort of going back to the nutrition part of that is cooking off the vegetables. Generally speaking, when you cook them or boil them, there's a thought that some people have that it sort of takes away a lot of the nutrients out of it. I honestly don't know if it does or not. I just prefer the raw variety to anything else. But if I'm cooking something like a stir fry, if you're cooking chicken breast, for example, then grab a few vegetables and throw them in, fry them up with it. It's going to still mix with everything, and you're still going to be able to add the spices that you need to, and you're still going to get those vegetables into you. And I know this sounds really, some of you that are probably watching this going, just eat the vegetables, it's fine, we have it as part of every day. But there are some people out there that simply don't eat them, or that won't eat them. Don't know if there are too many people that can't eat them. I'm sure that there are some people with food allergies that tend towards green leafy vegetables, which it's got to be rare. But, try different things. I'm a big believer in trying something once or twice. If you don't like it, put it aside for a few years. and then come back to it. Not literally set it aside and let it rot. I mean, come back to it in a few years and try again. Prime example of that, and I may have brought this up in the past, were olives. Now, for me, my whole family loved olives. I never developed a taste for them. They just tasted like rotten fruit to me. Even as a kid, never liked them. Anything that had olives on it, like a pizza or anything like that, even if people picked them off, you could always tell. It just permeated the taste. It was a really, really strong flavor that I didn't like. So as I got older, it was a lot easier for me to turn down stuff, because then you don't look like you're picky. You just say, no, I don't like them, and people sort of accept it. But every few years, every 3 or 4 years, I would try them again, because tastes do change, they do develop. Some things that you hated as a kid, you might enjoy now, and vice versa. Some things that you just absolutely loved as a kid, you might hate at this point. Especially like really, really sugary things. Some people just can't handle it anymore because it's too sweet. But in the case of olives, I kept trying them, and still, throughout my life, just didn't like them. Never developed a taste for it. Just, it was not bad enough that I would spit it out at a party or something, but something that I would avoid as much as I could. And then I saw, I can't remember if it was at a store or someone had offered it to me. There was, actually no, it was at a store. And it was a black olive. Now, normally, when I say olives, I mean the green olives with a little pimento on the top. I had tried black olives before, but as far as I know, let's try that one more time. But as far as I knew, they were canned, or just black olives that were cut up, they were pitted, and everything else. These were Kalamata olives, and what they are, they're basically the black olives taken right from the vine, very fresh, and sometimes they're slit down the middle, and they're marinated in almost like a wine vinegar, with lots of spices and everything else. So I thought, okay, this is something a little bit different. I'll try these instead. And at this stage, this had probably been 2 or 3 years before, or since the last time I tried olives. And I figured they had the green ones as well, but I thought, green, not a big fan of. Black olives, didn't care for. These are a really rich purple. So I thought, okay, I'll try these. I had a friend of mine who really liked olives, so I knew if I didn't like them, I can give them to him. Anyway, as to sort of skip to the end of the story, I buy them on a regular basis now. I still don't like green olives. I still don't like black olives. I don't want them on any of my food. But these olives, I don't know if it's the mixture of the oil and the vinegar and the wine or whatever it is that sort of combines it together, makes them really, really good to me. There are other people that still don't like them. Oddly enough, my cat likes them. I've tried giving my cat everything from regular treats to meat, and his 2 favorite foods are the Kalamata olives and button mushrooms. I don't know why. I'm getting off topic. Anyway, there's a little bit of extra information for you, but because of, I don't know if it was just that my taste buds had changed, or this was a new thing that just didn't, it doesn't really taste like an olive, and that's probably what I think it is. But just being able to try new things that way has opened up a lot of different things for me throughout my life, that I'll try something new. Even if it tastes bad, you can try it again just to sort of confirm that you don't like it. But a few years later, I'll try it again. Liver was one of those things as well, that no one likes liver. There's very few weirdos that actually enjoy it. But every few years, I would try it again, because your tastes do change and they do develop. The last time that I made it was probably 4 years ago. And I didn't realize that you could cook it the same way that you can cook a steak. I always assumed it had to be well done. But you can have it rare or medium rare. It did taste much, much better. But it's still nothing that I would ever order or ever buy for myself again. And as adults, we have that prerogative. We can do that. But going back to the fruits and vegetables thing, there are going to be some of you out there that haven't had one in years. So don't just go for broccoli instantly, because broccoli is one of those things that it, again, doesn't have a lot of flavor to it. Depending on how you cook it and what you mix it with can enhance the flavor of stuff. But just raw broccoli on itself just doesn't taste like anything. It doesn't even taste like broccoli. So try a bunch of different ones. Go to your market, talk to someone in the produce department and just let them know, say, I need half a dozen little samples of different fruits and vegetables that are really, really good. Something that I can try raw, something that I can cook, and just sort of go from there. Even onions. If you like onions, cook them with everything. I cook a lot of onions with a lot of stuff. That counts as a vegetable. The snacks, the frozen grapes we talked about a couple of weeks ago, that counts as a fruit. So even adding those little things in there, it is going to help. Not that you have to go vegetarian or vegan or anything else, and not that you need to cut out any foods from your diet that you're doing now. This is just an addition. And for the vast majority of you out there, this isn't going to be any change at all. You've already got vegetables and fruit in your diet, so you don't really need to worry. But it's mainly for those of you out there that haven't had a vegetable in a very, very, very long time. And I know some people like that. And it's a daunting thing to try to get over when you're so used to not eating them. And again, French fries don't count. But don't start with something that is going to turn you off it altogether again. Brussels sprouts, avoid those until you have a good understanding of what your tastes are, and then try one. And literally one. Grab 3 or 4 and cook them up 2 or 3 different ways and try them. If you don't like them, you never need to buy them again. I never do. Same thing with cauliflower. I haven't really found a way to cook it where it adds anything to any meal, so I just don't buy it. But there are some things that you're going to find that you're really going to enjoy. Maybe you're not a salad fan, but you can have baby spinach instead of lettuce, which tastes much, much different and changes texture as you cook it. If it gets cold, I mix it in with Caesar salads instead of regular romaine lettuce, which is really, really good. There are a myriad of other vegetables that I haven't even brought up yet that you may really, really enjoy that I might hate, or ones that I think are the best in the world that you think just have no flavor whatsoever. So it's going to be different for everyone. So grab half a dozen different ones or so, try them at home. If you don't like any of them, go back, try some other ones. You will eventually find something that you do enjoy, that they aren't going to satisfy a sweet tooth, and they aren't going to satisfy a salt craving, and they aren't really going to do anything for, alleviating any sour cravings that you might have. But it's going to start you on the right path. And for those of you out there that haven't had one in years, it is going to be difficult because you're trying something brand new. And if you're a picky eater and you only have 7 or 8 different foods that you eat, this is going to be a big step for you. But it is important that we do this because we need to introduce this into our diets. Because part of what we're doing isn't necessarily a low-fat diet or low-sodium diet. It's a balanced one. And for that, we need these fruit and vegetables added to it every single day. And as we progress, we are going to be adding more and more and more to it. Not to promote a vegetarian diet or anything like that. If you go for that, then by all means. If it's going to do what you need it to do, then do it. But it's mainly because it's something that we all need. And to be able to introduce that into your diet at this stage, when you only need to add 1 a day, is going to be much easier instead of down the road saying, okay, now we're all changing, you have to have a salad every day. So it doesn't matter what it is. Cherry tomatoes or pumpkin seeds. Something that is going to, well, pumpkin seeds don't really count, actually. That would be more of a nut. But that's part of your grains, so that's pretty good too. But I don't care what it is. As long as you get something that's either a fruit or vegetable into you that isn't part of, like, fruitcake doesn't count. Maraschino cherries, I wouldn't really count those either. Things that you're going to know that whether or not this counts or not. So add those in there, experiment with different ones, and talk to your friends. Talk to different people that you know and see, especially people that maybe are picky eaters as well, that maybe they found something that you'll enjoy. It might be something as odd as a red bell pepper. They're really crispy, they're sweet, and not as sweet as a cookie, obviously, but it's really interesting if you try to eat one of those raw as compared to any time you try to cook it. It's almost an entirely different thing. So experiment with different things. And we're going to be doing this as we progress along as well. Before we start cutting out foods, I want to be able to add these in there. so that when we do start eventually saying, all right, now we're cutting back on our sugar intake, you have these vegetables and these fruits that you can go to for your sugar or your sour, or even just to fill up if you're still hungry at the end of the day. So that's it for this video for now. We're starting up our sixth. I can't talk at all. There's been 3 or 4 videos I haven't been able to talk. I don't know what it is. I'm not drunk, unfortunately, so that's not that. But we're starting week 6. I'll do that because 6th is a bit of a mouthful. So we're starting up week 6. We still have another couple of weeks to go before we start in on any exercising thing. We're still tracking all of our foods. We're tracking our fluids now. And you're still not counting them. So I'm hoping that it's going to also give you a rough idea as to how much extra calories have gone into your diet because of fluids, which we'll touch on during the week as well. But for right now, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. And again, I've lost myself. This has been a horrible video. I do apologize. I could probably re-record the whole thing, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to miss things that I've said. I'm going to say extra things that I probably shouldn't say, and a bunch of other horrible wrong things are going to happen. So we're going to cut this off right here. Try this one more time. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. In the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.